you are sporting some jewelry during this interview.
Yeah.
Can you break down these items, these pieces, and the symbolism of them or the meanings behind them?
I wish I'm touching on FXR right now. This FXR chain, Foreign Rich. That's the brand. That's the movement. You know, right now, Foreign Rich season. Roses, or is it? It's Africa. You know, I'm African. I'm born in Africa. I love my country. I love Nigeria. Roses right here. I love rose gold. Anything rose gold, I'm onto it. My first grills was rose gold. If you see my first interview, I had grills. My first grill was rose gold. So, then the last one, Boss of DMV. That's the brand. That's my management. So, shout out Boss of DMV.
Now, care to share the jeweler or jewelers behind any of these items you just presented?
The jewelers behind. Actually, I ain't gonna lie. The first jewel FXR. I ain't gonna lie, I forgot where I got, because I got most of these custom made online. So, but I know these two is from a Jew shop, and the last piece was like a personal piece and an artisan in PG County. But other than that, yeah, those are jewelers. Yeah. To be frank, I don't spend a lot of money on jewelry like I used to before, but right now I just like these pieces that I have, so I stick with these pieces.
Now, speaking of money and the cost of jewelry and things of that nature, that can fluctuate, but care to share the cost of these items at the time you purchased them?
There was, well, like I said, I be budgeting myself. So to be honest with you, none of these jewelries on my neck surpass like $1,000. So I just keep it under that. So I just like jewelry just because of the pieces. So I mean, I want things that go with my brand. So like roses, you always see me have roses. I got rose earrings on. Africa, as you know, I'm always going to represent Big Africa, and everything else is part of my brand.
Now, Boss Up DMV. The 3 letters DMV, what does that stand for?
DMV stands for DC, Maryland, Virginia. If you don't know, that's the metropolitan area.
Now, what is your opinion of that phrase?
It's powerful. Because when you say DMV, it's not just one area. It's actually that whole metropolitan area. You know, when they come together, they do a lot of big things. They got Broccoli City coming up. So, you know, DMV been actually growing. The culture, the music, the movements, the networking has been growing dramatically over the time. We have a lot of front runners now that's actually have big faces are now going industry, which I'm proud. I'm proud of DMV. You know, that's part of the DMV movement, Boss Up movement. We try to, you know, encourage people doing better things. Stay out. You know, criminal activities, things like that. Encourage, you know, financial investments. Encourage, you know, just disciplining themselves and things like that. So that's the purpose of Boss Up DMV. We're the movement they left out, but they couldn't fit into the movement. So.
And Boss Up DMV, was that a phrase or phrases that you coined or someone coined for you?
I had it was a group. Actually, we used to say boss up a lot. So, you know, I just took that phrase and I used to throw a lot of big parties in the area, and that used to be my brand. Like, you know, we boss up, and you know the DMV coming because we used to throw parties all over in the area, like DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So, you know, we just made it a whole brand after a while. Before the brand was called Slutty Gang, but you know, because I wanted to make it more what I want to say, more appropriate for you know, for the masses. I can call it Boss Up DMV. So.
And what kind of parties were these?
All types of parties, college parties. Where I kind of gradually moved over time when I was growing up. So I used to do like high school parties to college parties, even though I never went to college. I was throwing a lot of college parties. People didn't know that I was throwing a lot of high school parties, to college parties. Then I transitioned into doing a lot of stripper parties. Then a lot of in-house parties and private parties and things like that. So, yeah.
And do you still do that today?
Yeah, I still party, but I slowed it down a bit. But Shout out the Clubhouse DC. We still in there. My How Lounge out Clinton, Maryland. Still doing great things every Saturday. Every Saturday.
And why the slowdown?
My death of my father. That kind of like slowed me down a bit because I was too much in the streets and there's too much in the nightlife game that I kind of didn't pay attention to what was going on at home. So I just wanted to draw back, just make sure I'm doing things step by step and not like be too much indulged in the streets.
Now, when it comes to your father, do you remember the last correspondence you had with him before he passed away?
Yeah. He was in the hospital. We talked. I was just giving him words of encouragement, telling him, keep fighting. Don't let it, because he was feeling, fell into a sickness. So just giving him words of encouragement because at first he was sick before, and I felt like words of encouragement and just being there to let him know that you're there for him, will encourage him to keep moving. But eventually after a while, after my last talk with my dad, and I found out he passed away. So yeah.
And how long did that conversation take place before he ultimately passed?
We talked for a while, about more than like I would say about like 30 to an hour. We were just talking, just there talking with my father, praying with him, just letting him know, reassuring him that I'll be there. I told him sadly I was supposed to be there one day, then I got caught up in certain things, then the news came out the next day, and it was just like devastating. I was just like, I felt like I should have just came that day before, but I know he's watching over me.
So you weren't there when he actually passes away?
No, I was not there when he actually passed. So I was actually at work when I heard the news. Yeah, unfortunately.
And how were you notified?
I actually it was kind of messed up because I managed a truck company, a logistics business. So I was at that time I had to pick up a route that day. I was driving, then I got a call. Actually, I didn't get a call. I was calling the hospital to talk to my father because I was gonna call him and say, "Hey, Dad, after I get off, I'm running over there." So when I called, they were saying that I'm not able to talk to him. I had no access, but that wasn't the case before. And I was like, every time I called in, y'all switch over. So they was like, yeah, we can't. You can't talk right now, and then we need somebody who's in his contact, emergency contact. And I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. So I was not hoping it was bad news. I called my mother. I say, hey, can you call the hospital quick? I don't know what's going on. They saying I can't talk to Dad. I'm on my way back because I was in Pennsylvania at the time, so I'm coming back from Pennsylvania. I'm gonna just jet straight there when I get back to Maryland. Then I think my mom called. Then they gave her the news. Then my mom called me back, and she told me the news, and that's how I found out about it.
So, do you have a favorite memory of him you'd like to share with the audience today?
Favorite memory of my father. I got a lot of favorite memories. My father used to always introduce us to like a lot of new things, like especially like American wise. Like he got us introduced to like KFC. It's kind of funny, like, we're talking about KFC, but like he got us introduced to KFC. We ended up liking KFC. Introduced us to like Chick-fil-A. I never knew a Chick-fil-A until my father started bringing Chick-fil-A back to us. We used to go out a lot every weekend. Every weekend was like church, then we do something after church. So I got a lot of great memories with my father. Just over time. Oh, even when I went back to Nigeria with my father too, I seen how he was being himself in Nigeria, and I was like, all right, I like this my side of my father. He's actually being himself. Doesn't have to be like a robot, a little stucco. So yeah, a lot of good memories.
Didn't know if there was one favorite that is at the top of the list of all of those?
Favorite, I don't know, because it's a lot of memories. I don't know. Um, I can't really think of the top of my head right now, but I do got a lot of memories with my father. I mean, I feel like every memory I have with my father is one of my best memories. So I don't like to sing it out. So since he's not here no more.
Now, what's the best advice you received from him, or most important thing you learned being around him,
Um,
if anything?
the best advice I actually got from my father was actually like, always, if you whenever anytime in doubt, in trouble, in any issues, face God. So I always took that from him. Anytime I have any issues, any difficulties, I just put my two hands together and I pray. You know, I'm a very religious person, so I get that from my family, my father. So, everything up to God, everything how I move, is God. So that's how I go about my life.
And speaking of that, do you follow a religion by any chance?
I'm actually Roman Catholic.
And was that how you were raised, or was that something you chose?
That's how I was raised, Roman Catholic my whole life. My mom was like Protestant, but when my dad was a hard Catholic, and most of my dad's side of the family are hard Catholic, so I grew up Catholic my whole life.
Anything else in regards to your father?
Uh,
Or question you weren't asked, people want to know about him.
my father was a very intelligent guy. Oh, you was talking about a memory? I do know a memory. It was certain math problems I couldn't solve, and I don't. It's one of my best memories because I would say because my dad used to solve any math problem, like even math problems I thought he wouldn't even be able to solve. He solved it. Like my dad used to be a math teacher, so he was so good at math, so good at numbers. He was an accountant, so he was a teacher at when he was back in Nigeria. So he knew a lot about math, physics, pre-calculus and things like that. So I was never in trouble with math growing up. So thanks to my father, I know a lot about math, and I love math too.
Now, mentally, has this been something you sought any professional help over? The passing of your dad.
I did get professional help. I was taking therapy for a while, just to agree, talk about certain things. Then, it's still there, but I fought through it. So I just, I just hold myself up. As my family say, make sure hold your heart. So I just hold my heart and just make sure, just keep on moving. I know he's there, so I don't cry about it all every day. I just know that he's there and he's with us.
Was the professional help, excuse me, helpful?
Yeah, it's pretty helpful because I'm a type of person I don't have a lot of friends. I don't talk to a lot of people. So sometimes I keep that bottle up in me. I'm the type of person that keeps a bottle up, and I won't even talk to nobody about it till probably after, if I feel like it's too much, I'm holding in too much, I go talk about it. But yeah, therapy help dilute the grieving that I was having with my father. So it just made it better. Great experience. I had a great therapist too. So she's very understanding. She wasn't one of them therapists that would tell you what to do. She'll sit back and listen, and she would say, hey, just make sure you just take time off and just do things for you and live for you. And I guess I just things I wanted to hear from myself because during my whole life, like after teenage years, like I felt like I was like living for everybody else and wasn't really living for myself. So yeah, therapy was great. I recommend it for people who really need it. If you need somebody to really talk to, get things off your chest, it helps.
Now, forgot to ask you this question in the midst of all these other questions about your father, but you may have answered it already. So we'll formally ask you here, and if you feel like you've answered it already, we'll just move forward. But the question was, what was your father really like?
My father, my father was a very goofy guy. To tell you the truth, a very goofy but very serious guy. he didn't play no games. Like he was. I would say I don't know how to describe him. He was one of them old school type guys that like they go by principle. They go by go by certain rules and regulations. They just move a certain way. And my father was a very disciplined guy. My father was a guy who never let nobody walk over him. Very strong individual. My father was he was strong like an ox. He's very strong. I've never, even the times when I grew up and times, if me and my father got into it, like, my father muscle was showing. I'm like, yo, this man old, but he pretty strong, So I won't say I was pretty afraid of my father, but like I said, he's always there. My father was always there. He was never a guy like walk out. So he was like always there, always thriving, always working hard. That's why I get my work ethic from my father and my mother, but my father most definitely, because when he came to America, he was working 4 jobs at just to hold the house up. So he was working 4 jobs until he got into like government, then got into government jobs, then he was able to sustain himself at the day. So I seen him work his way up. So that's why I say when I tell people like anything is possible, you just gotta be disciplined and just keep working and just keep striving to whatever you're achieving for.
What was the reaction from the village to his death?
Very surprised, because he, according to everybody, he kind of died like at a young age. He died at 61. So everybody was shook. Nobody knew he was sick. So yeah, it's kind of devastating. He left a lot of old friends, because that year he passed away. He was actually me and him was supposed to fly back to Nigeria together, and it was kind of out in the air that we was coming back. So when he ended up passing away, they was kind of shook. That was the way he was coming back home to Nigeria, was not being alive, but. Yeah, that was pretty devastating.
Now, true or false, in regards to Nigeria? You're a Nigerian prince.
Yeah, true.
Can you shed some light on that?
Just basically where I'm from, we value children, we value family. So where the location I'm from in my village, I am basically a prince. Because I come from a broad family, and since I'm the firstborn of my father, because he came from a family of 11 kids. So I have a lot of siblings, but since you're the firstborn, you kind of look at as a prince. So you just, like I said, there's a lot of burden on you. If your father or family members had debt in the village, now it's your debt that you have to deal with. A lot of concerns you have to deal with, a lot of responsibilities that you have to do when you come back to Nigeria. A lot of demands or requests, so you just have to get it done as the firstborn. So.
Now, do you still hold that title today?
Yeah, I still hold that title. I'm still hold that title. If I pull up to Nigeria right now, everybody coming back home. So everybody coming back to the village. So they waiting for me to come back. So it should be soon. It should be this year. I hope so, by God's grace. But yeah, it should be a journey. That's why I can't just go in and out Nigeria like I can, because just the politics and the social economics going around there. You just want to be careful how we moving. So just want to go in a safer time.
And does it get any more specific, like what the name of the village is or things of that nature?
Everyone, I don't want to tell you the actual village, but it's an Mbise. Mbise, that's in Imo State. So if you search for my village is in Mbise, Imo State. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to address while you're here?
Address? I just want to let everybody know, hey, DMV is coming up next. DMV culture all the way. There might be a ceiling on the DMV, like a little glass ceiling, but we're gonna break through it. So, I'm just here to push the culture forward.
Anything else you didn't get a chance to mention you'd like to mention now?
What is that? Oh, make sure you tune in. We throw the most biggest 420 parties. Make sure y'all tune in to every 420 party every year, annually. You know, we got free, you know, free goodie bags and things like that. So make sure y'all tune in, Boss of DMV, tune into the night scene in the DMV. We're most definitely going up.
And how can those that are interested find more information about any of that stuff?
Hey, follow us up Instagram at Boss of DMV, or you can also tune into my page, official boots _.
And anything else?
Anything else? Nah, I think we should be good. We got anything else? I think we should be good to go.